From the nurses there at Henry Ford Hospital.
Absolutely. This is one of the big emergency response hospitals in Metro Detroit. And even with what's playing out there, there may be cases where this is the closest hospital in a life or death situation. And I would imagine that things are trying to get back to normal there now that the lockdown has been lifted. Getting back is going to be hard to do with this type of violence playing out in the hospital. You have people who are getting care there. You have people who work there who felt safe in this building for weeks, and for some, no doubt, years of working there in Henry Ford. And this type of violence will definitely shatter that sense of security and safety for many inside that building.
Now, even though we have confirmed with Henry Ford Hospital that the lockdown has been lifted and we are being told by police that the shooter has left the scene, we are also being told that people should stay away from the area. There is a lot that happens here in this area. You have homes, you have a lot of apartment complexes with a lot of nurses and doctors living within those apartment complexes. You have the Motown Museum nearby. You have the Fisher Theater nearby. So a lot happening. If you can avoid this area altogether, it's going to be a mess to get around it anyways. And police really need the space and really need the time to continue their investigation.
Absolutely. Our Randy Wembley said that the only people he sees in this area are first responders and the few people who live in that area right next to the hospital, but he's not seeing other people being allowed in this area. In fact, Randy has said that they're on the ground, and this is Randy's camera, that they have not even seen people leaving the hospital. So the lockdown has been lifted, but I would imagine, and it appears to be, that they're still trying to control this scene to the extent that is possible because the investigation is still in its infancy.
And just to give you an idea of how backed up everything is, we do have a second reporter on the way to the scene that is currently getting stuck in traffic because they have blocked off so many separate areas within this scene. So if you do have any type of work, if you were thinking about going to the Motown Museum today, it might be a good day to maybe avoid those plans. Again, let's take you through what we know. We do know that there is an active shooter investigation happening right now at Henry Ford Hospital. Randy Wembley on scene confirming with a worker that they had heard gunshots around 10 a.m. this morning coming from the basement of the hospital. At one point, the hospital was put into lockdown. We are being told that the lockdown was lifted.
All right. And we are getting word that law enforcement is beginning to gather. So we're going to be on standby for any information. In fact, let's go to that camera right now where we may learn more from police investigators.
Let's settle down. We're ready on the side. Let me know when you all are ready.
Yes, we're about to get this update from Medicine right now.
Okay, update to the community. We're at Henry Ford Hospital at approximately 9:55 a.m. Via video assets, we did observe a subject, our person of interest, leaving the facility. A Mr. Mario Green, date of birth 7/22/1960. He's 65 years old. He got into a verbal altercation with what I'm being told his ex-wife in the basement area of Henry Ford Hospital. He produced a gun, handgun, and fired multiple shots, killing his ex-wife. She's a black female, approximately 40 years of age. He has fled. Is no longer an active situation at the hospital, even though it is an active crime scene. He left the front door of the hospital, got into a white Dodge Charger. The year is 2011, a 2011 Dodge Charger, and the license plate is D is in David, X-ray, X is in X-ray, C is in Charles, 7067. We're actively looking for him. He is presumed to be armed and dangerous. I'm asking the public if they see him, and we'll release the picture shortly as to how he looks exactly who he is, and I can tell you that he has an address in Bloomfield Hills. We expect to have him in custody very, very shortly, but we're asking for the community's help and that the danger situation posed here is over. We do have our police assets, my SWAT team, my other metropolitan officers here, as well as federal assets about to search the hospital and just ensure that there's no one else that was possibly injured there. But at this time, I'm only aware of one injury, and that we do have the video assets to show that he left the hospital.
Chief, what the ex-wife presumably worked at the hospital, or what?
Yes, I'm being told that she is an employee of the hospital. I don't know what her job is, but of course we're working with the leadership at Henry Ford Hospital and their security as well, their police department.
Can you spell the suspect's name, and does he have any affiliation with the hospital at all as well?
Not that I'm aware of, and his name is Mario, M-A-R-I-O, and his last name is Green, common spelling, G-R-E-E-N.
And Chief, how did he get access to the basement of the hospital?
At this particular point in time, I'm unsure, but that'll be revealed at a later date.
Do you know if this suspect has any prior criminal history?
I'm not aware that he does, and that can be provided later, but at this particular point in time, I'm being told that he didn't have a history. Maybe my team knows. Did he have a history?
Don't know yet. They're still compiling it now.
Do you have a description of what the suspect was wearing as he left the hospital, as he fled?
Yeah, he's in all black. He's approximately 6'4" in height, and he had on a gold chain as well. And so we're going to release the exact video so you can see and push it out to the public so they'll know what he has on right now.
Do you know generally where he fled, or are you concentrating the search in any particular area?
We have our assets, and so he went, what was it?
The Boulevard onto Lodge.
Yep. So he went northbound on the Lodge Freeway, and so we know what north is, and so he lives in Bloomfield Hills.
Were there any other witnesses to what happened? I guess, were there other people in the basement when this occurred who saw this sort of altercation and stuff?
I'm unsure about that at this time.
All right, everybody, thank you for your time.
Yep, we'll keep you all updated.
Well, any other updates?
All right, so you just heard from Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison giving us the very latest there. They know who they are looking for. They said they were able to capture the alleged shooter on video, so they know who they're looking for. They describe him. They say his name is Mario Green, 65-year-old. They say he's 6'4", wearing all black and a gold chain, and that he left after a verbal altercation with his wife, who was in the basement. Multiple shots fired. She was killed in that encounter.
Yeah, we're told that she's 40 years old. It was his ex-wife who he shot and killed, and then proceeded to leave the hospital at exactly 9:55 this morning. And after he went and left the hospital, he proceeded on northbound the Lodge. According to police, he is a Bloomfield Hills resident, and they did say he is armed and that he is dangerous. So if you know a Mario Green, date of birth 7/22/1960, 65 years old. If you know this man, you are urged to call police. The police chief did sound optimistic. They are working with every resource that they have available to them to catch this man.
That's right. They said he left the scene in a white Dodge Charger 2011 with the license plate BXC 7067. So that is the vehicle they're on the search for. They're on the hunt for right now. And obviously this investigation is now stretching, not just from Detroit and Wayne County, but into Bloomfield Hills and Oakland County, where the alleged shooter is said to have lived.
And police also saying, the police chief there just saying moments ago, that they plan on releasing the video of him walking out of the hospital in an effort to try to find Mario Green. He was wearing all black with a gold chain, described as being 6'4". They plan on releasing that video. And of course, as soon as they do release the video, we will update you and we will show you that video in an effort to try and help police track down where this man might be and continue their investigation. We are also learning that that ex-wife who was unfortunately shot and killed was an employee of the hospital.
That's right. And so we have had some questions answered, and that leads to many more questions. One of the most important is how was he able to gain access to the basement of Henry Ford Hospital, where he is said to have shot his ex-wife? That's going to be one of the questions that will last long beyond this, because it's a question of, was he let in? Was there a security lapse? That's something that at this point investigators don't know, but that's certainly going to be one of the many focus points of this investigation.
And again, that license plate number is D as in David, X as in xylophone, C as in cat, 7067. He was last seen leaving on northbound the Lodge. We do know that he is a Bloomfield Hills resident, so it's unclear. Maybe he might have been trying to get to Bloomfield Hills. Maybe he could have just taken off altogether. At this point, we do not know where this man is, and Detroit police continue to work their resources as they search for this shooter.
And they will have a lot of help. The ATF is on the scene. The U.S. Marshals is there as well, along with MSP. So this is going to certainly be the focal point of a lot of investigative resources here to track down. Right now, they're looking for a Mario Green, 65 years old, 6'4", who is last seen headed northbound on the Lodge in a white Dodge Charger 2011.
Now, while they continue to look for Mario Green, again, that license plate DXC 7067 and a 2011 Dodge Charger that is white. While they continue to look for Mario Green driving that white Charger with that license plate, we were also told that a search of the hospital is happening to make sure that nobody else was injured during this time. It's unclear if anyone was in the room with his ex-wife, what happened in that room, but he was able to walk out of the hospital, and at this point, we do not know where this man is.
Right, and importantly, we're told that that ex-wife was an employee at Henry Ford Health. So we certainly, our hearts go out to her family because they are experiencing loss. We don't have her name, but if they are watching, and know that she was married to a Mario Green, there may be some heartbreak, some pain going on in that family right now.
And we do have 7 News Detroit reporter Ruta Olsenaida just arriving on scene. Ruta, live from the scene. And what can you tell us at this moment, Ruta?
Yeah, you guys. Well, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, it was tough to even get into this general vicinity. So if you do not live here, if you do not work here, it is not recommended that you head down. Detroit police have closed off most entry and exit points right off the Lodge here to the hospital. So we got here, but there is a crowd forming of residents that just have a lot of questions, devastated at this latest update that a woman has lost her life, an employee. I just want to show you just how large the scene is. It is clearly all hands on deck here. We are here on the corner of Poe and Pallister. We understand that most of this occurred on Grand Boulevard, and we were in that area. We were quickly turned away as this investigation is officially on. You can see Michigan State Police on scene, as well as Detroit police, residents gathering outside the hospital. We do know that the shelter in place has been lifted at the hospital, but we have seen some employees walking out, I'm sure just traumatized at what has transpired here today. So we are learning that female employee, around 40 years old, in the basement area, was shot multiple times by her ex-husband, and that's just something the community is reeling with. We have seen people just holding their heads, devastated that this type of violence occurred on this Friday morning. Again, the big manhunt now is for the individual that is alleged to be responsible. He is taken off in a Dodge Charger 2011 white, a 65-year-old. So we're going to get it back to you guys, but we're going to remain on scene, try to get some answers for this community as to where this individual is and what exactly happened, guys.
There is that white Dodge Charger, and this is video just released to 7 News Detroit from investigators. So that's the vehicle right now at the center of this search.
And we also are told that we do have a picture of the man, Mario Green, again, 65 years old, accused of walking into Henry Ford Hospital this morning, going into the basement and shooting and killing his ex-wife this morning after some sort of fight, and then taking off. There that picture is northbound the Lodge. This is Mario Green, 65 years old, according to Detroit police. You can see him there wearing all black. It does look like he has some sort of backpack on.
Looks like a red backpack?
Yeah, it looks like with a red strap along with that gold chain, black tennis shoes, wearing some sort of watch. Again, walked into the hospital, went into the basement, shot and killed his ex-wife, 40 years old, who was an employee of the hospital. We are told that he lives in the Bloomfield Hills area. He was last seen leaving the area on northbound The Lodge. And as Ruta mentioned, this is a massive police investigation spanning quite a few blocks in that area, a lot of closures in that area.
That's right. And investigators say that he should be considered armed and dangerous. This is the license plate of that Dodge, in case you see it. It is DXC7067, 2011 white Dodge Charger. Investigators are searching for Mario Green. That's a look at the actual vehicle, and this is the vehicle that police are searching for. This was sent to us by investigators. Hopefully, they'll be able to find this vehicle and Mario Green, who is said to be driving it. Right now, again, Mario Green, the center of this search, 65 years old, 6'4", last seen wearing all black. That image we had there on your screen just moments ago.
I mean, this is a massive police presence. We are talking federal agents. We are talking the Detroit Police Department. At this point, you have to think that Bloomfield Hills Police Department likely getting involved because he did live in the Bloomfield Hills area. So this investigation may have started in Detroit, but this is really having an impact on really everyone within the Metro Detroit area at this point.
Without a doubt, the Oakland County Sheriff might get involved here. So this is an expanding investigation, and they'll also be checking some of the traffic cameras as well. So when we think about where this investigation goes, how this investigation goes, one can get on the lodge and then get off and try to lose themselves, but they'll likely be checking the traffic cameras down the lodge, trying to identify that car and trace its movement so they can find the driver, who's said to be Mario Green, 65, of Bloomfield Hills. Again, investigators say that he presented himself to Henry Ford Hospital, went to the basement, got into a verbal altercation with his ex-wife, and opened fire, shooting and killing her there at Henry Ford Hospital around 9:55 this morning.
Now, at one point, the hospital was placed on lockdown. That lockdown has been lifted at Henry Ford Hospital. So things are getting back to normal at the hospital, but this police investigation is just getting started at this point. A very scary situation, knowing that this man walked into the hospital, shot his ex-wife, and was able to walk right back out and leave this area. We are still looking, and police are still looking for Mario Green. He was born in 1960, 65 years old at Bloomfield Hills. He's described as being 6'4". We saw a picture of him there moments ago wearing all black and a gold chain. He was driving a white Dodge Charger, a 2011 white Dodge Charger.
So that's the very latest on what's going on there. The last voice we heard from today was Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison giving us that update on who they're looking for, what he was driving, where he was last seen going. This is the view now live from Chopper 7 of Henry Ford Hospital. You would imagine very slowly people inside that hospital, staff members, patients, their loved ones, are trying to get back to normal, but normal is going to be hard to find. You'd also imagine that the people who love ones who work or are being cared for in that hospital are currently reaching out to their loved ones, to their relatives, their neighbors, their spouses, their children, asking them how they're doing, what's going on, and how they're coping with the trauma playing out there at Henry Ford Hospital just about an hour and a half ago at 9:55 this morning.
And of course, our hearts go out to the woman who was shot and killed this morning inside the hospital. You wake up and think that you're going to work as you normally do just about every single day, Monday through Friday for most people, and then something like this tragically happens. Our hearts go out to her and go out to the Henry Ford family. I know a lot of people that work at that hospital, nurses, staff behind the scene, and it is like a small family there at Henry Ford Hospital. There's a lot of love within those halls, so a very unfortunate situation.
All right, well, let's go back down now to our Randy Wembley, who is live there at Henry Ford Hospital. And Randy, what's the very latest? I know you've been digging, you've been talking to people there on the ground. What have you been able to learn?
Yeah, guys, well, obviously that new information from Chief Todd Bettison, as you already mentioned a few moments ago, the suspect Mario Green out of Bloomfield Hills shot and killed his ex-wife in the basement of the hospital here. They're now looking for him, his vehicle, white Dodge Charger, plate number DXC7067. A bit earlier, I saw a few people were calling loved ones who were in the hospital. One woman said her sister was there, but did not get a chance to talk with her for too much longer because she was headed that way or trying to head closer towards the hospital, and the chief was coming in for his briefing. And just now I'm seeing a man here with a neck brace on. Sir, you had an appointment here at the hospital?
Yes, I have an appointment here at the hospital.
Did you get any kind of notification about what was going on here to maybe reschedule? Or?
No, I did not. Wow. No, I did not. No type of schedule anything. As a matter of fact, they just called me and reminded me that I had an appointment at 11 o'clock.
Well, needless to say, obviously an active shooter situation here, so that's on hold for now, but best of luck to you. If you can just stick around, we'll talk to you a bit more in a moment here.
No appointments right now at this time?
Well, I don't want to speak for the hospital, but just they're going to be searching through the hospital momentarily because there was an active shooter situation here. So obviously you got patients. This man had an appointment here. You saw the neck brace. Did not get a notification to stay away from the hospital at this time, and just got a call, he said, to come in for his appointment. But clearly we have the situation here. So that's where we're standing now. Police obviously now on the manhunt situation. Mario Green, a man believed to be in his late 50s or 60s or what have you. White Dodge Charger, 2011 DXC7067, accused of shooting and killing his wife here at the hospital, in the basement of it, his ex-wife. And again, seeing some people here, people calling loved ones to see if they're okay.
All right, that is our Randy Wembley. Randy, thank you so much for that update. And you saw there a patient showing up in a neck brace, seeking to get care at Henry Ford Hospital. That person was unaware of what was playing out. And I think that may be the case for many people today who are living their lives and may not be plugged in, showing up looking for care and finding that it's going to be much more difficult to navigate getting into the hospital than they had originally thought.
Yeah, it's a good day to maybe call the hospital if you do have an appointment. Make sure that everything is flowing exactly as they should be, that your appointment is still on. There's a lot of businesses in the area. The Fisher Building usually has some people working within that area. There's the Motown Museum. So if you can avoid the area, it is pretty gridlocked there. A lot of streets closed as police continue to look for this shooter. All
right, well, let's recap. Let you know what we know at this point. According to Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison, a man, 65-year-old Mario Green, came into the hospital. That's Mario Green right there in the center of your screen, wearing all black, 6'4", 65 years old. Looks like he has a red backpack, or at least a backpack with a red stripe, red strap. Came into the hospital, found his ex-wife in the basement, opened fire multiple times, killing his wife, age 40.
Yeah, from there, we are told that he left in a white Dodge Charger. It was a 2011 Charger with the license plate DXC7067. We are told that he is a Bloomfield Hills resident that ended up going northbound on the Lodge after he walked out of the hospital. He is considered to be armed and dangerous. So if you know where Mario Green is, or if you have seen the man that we showed you earlier here on your screen, do not approach this man. Police are actively looking for him.
All right, that is the very latest. Of course, we will continue working this story for you and have the very latest for you coming up in a half hour on 7 News Detroit at noon.
And of course, stay with us on WXYZ.com.
This has been a breaking news alert from 7 News Detroit. We now return to our regularly scheduled program.